5 big and bold predictions now that we've seen the trailer for Scream 6. Number 1, Scream 6 will be the most bloody, kill-filled entry in the franchise to date. And I feel this way for a whole lot of reasons. One, Kevin Williamson, the writer of Scream, Scream 2, and Scream 4, has said that he's seen a cut of the film and he was blown away by how bloody, brutal, and vicious the film was. And then going from there, we're now in New York City. We have a wide-spanning metropolis we can play with. We have so many different venues we can go in. We seem to have not just one ghost face, not just two, but a plethora, if you will, of ghost faces. And there's just so much you can do with them if you allow them to go out through the city and kill at will. You have this diffusal responsibility in the city to where everybody feels like, well, somebody else will call it in. That's not my problem. Somebody else will do the right thing and alert the police. Somebody else will step in. This has happened historically in America, and I think we're going to see it play out in this film. But I don't mean to suggest this will just be a bunch of randos and new faces getting slaughtered. No, I think there's going to be all sorts of stakes in this movie. I think that Radio Silence is coming off of their first entry, and we know from Scream 2, with your second effort, you really have to up the ante. You got to be bigger, badder, and meaner. I think they're going to do that. I think they're going to do that by killing off a mainstay such as Gale. You excited about Kirby? She may die. She may get stabbed. You excited about Samara Weaving joining the ranks? She may get killed off. Jenna Ortega, her star's on the rise. She's going to get expensive going forward. A lot of people want her to be the new face of the franchise. What if we strike while the iron is hot? We kill her off. The twins? No way both of them are safe. One of them's dying. My bet's on Chad. I think we're being kind of set up. I think Mindy's inclusion is a red herring. I think that may be a dream sequence, or it may just be shot for the trailer. But what I'm saying here is pretty much anybody can die. And I really want to double back to Gale because I really think she's going in this one. Dewey died in the last movie, and we're whittling it down. We're getting to just the newer players. Gale's arc has been completed. And what a wonderful arc it was, but there's just not a whole lot more we can do with this character. She's not like Sydney to where I can see her passing on the baton to a newer face in any sort of meaningful fashion. So she's reached the end of her journey. This movie's gonna be mean, it's gonna be vicious, it's gonna rip your heart out and show it to you at times. It's gonna be a bloody good, high-octane fun time. I feel it. Number 2, the opening kill. There isn't going to be a kill of a good guy. In fact, we're going to do things so different because, like I said, this is Radio Silence's era of Scream now. And it's time to really put their stamp on things. So that convenience store intro that you saw in the trailer, that's actually the intro to the movie. That's my guess because Tara and Sam both look way more put together, way more easy and fresh than they do for the rest of the trailer. They look so disheveled, cut up, sweaty for every other segment of the trailer except here. Here this meant they were just out having a good night on the town, and then they were blitzed by Ghostface, and they tried to take refuge in the convenience store, and they just set the movie into motion. Now Ghostface comes in, he does kill off some randos, but then the girls somehow triumph over him, and that is how we see Sam later in the trailer holding that mask that seems like it's got all sorts of wear and tear, like it seems to suggest that that may be her father's mask, that she's looking into the face of her father in a weird way and confronting the sins of his past and that darkness that she holds inside of herself as we see her explaining to the therapist. So this would be a way to subvert expectations, turn things on their head by not having a Ghostface get the jump on some random character in the intro. No, actually having faces we know in tandem take down a new Ghostface. They unmask him after defeating him, and it's somebody we don't even know because that sets up the cult of personality. So yeah, number 3, the cult of personality. So you've probably heard by now, Kevin Williamson, the writer of the original movie, he actually did a treatment for Scream 3 in which he was going to reveal that when Stu was stabbed and he had the TV dropped on his head at the end of the first movie, he actually survived those wounds, that they were not death blows, and that he was incarcerated. But because the internet was starting to become more and more popular and more people were finding their ways to chat rooms, this cult of personality developed, and he started to recruit a large, loyal following. So much so that a TV show actually took this premise. Kevin Williamson wrote a show called The Following, in which a killer is incarcerated, develops a following, and they start doing his bidding as he sets up his plans and delivers them from the confines of his cell. We could see that type of thing going on, or maybe Stu's death was faked and he's still out there somehow. It sounds crazy right now, but I think we could explain it over the course of the movie. But it's clear from this that there is a shrine, that somebody is enamored and obsessed with the original killers, with all of the killers, and that they're trying to pay homage, but they may even be doing an act of service for one of the original killers. We see that that mask is now in Sam's possession, that's Billy's mask. What about Billy's accomplice? Because we don't really hear a ton about Stu these days. In fact, things are suspiciously quiet about him. Could we be setting something up to where Stu is still out there and still very much relevant in a major, major way? What a reveal that would be. In fact, can you imagine if we go the full runtime of this movie, we don't see any Sidney, we don't see any Stu, but we know that a Ghostface has escaped for the first time ever, or we know a Ghostface is still out there, and then we cut to see Sidney Prescott picking up the phone and being a little bit snarky, a little bit overconfident. Maybe she's seen the news, she knows what's happened in New York, she knows Gail has died, she thinks she is ready. She says some smart alecky, bold stuff to this Ghostface on the phone, but you don't hear Roger L. Jackson's voice. There's no voice modulator going on. You hear Stu's voice uttering one of his classic lines, something like, "I've always had a thing for you, Sid." Mic drop, hit the credits. Everybody walks out going, what the can't wait for Scream 7. I think that this movie will recontextualize everything that we think we know right now about Scream 5. I think we know it all, but we don't know jack shh. Think about it. Richie and Amber were very, very active online. I just talked about the cult of personality. We've seen that there is a shrine. We've seen that they are not alone in that respect then. And fans have really had an issue with aspects of Scream 5, like Amber being able to kill Dewey in the way that she did. And there's other things you go back and you look at and you're like, there's certain lines or certain moments where you're like, whoa, if Richie was here, maybe Amber was here, what was going on there? What if it turns out that Stu or whoever is very much involved, that the killers in this movie, that we get acquainted with them and find out that they've been along for the ride longer than we know? Kind of the way Scream 3 went on to recontextualize the first movie, where we originally thought it was just Billy and Stu, but they had a director in Roman. That type of thing, except that this time around, it was always planned by the writers and the director. And we could really go places from there in Scream 7. Everyone's a suspect, as Randy Meeks taught us, RIP to everybody's favorite film nerd. Yeah, everyone's a suspect. I mean that in every single way imaginable. Sam, suspect. Tara, suspect. Kirby, suspect. McDermott's character, suspect. On and on and on. We have a cult of personality. We have a ton of ghost faces running amok. And I think things are going to get real crazy and real ambitious by the time we hit that third act. And already you can kind of start penciling things in for people. And Sam seems too obvious. I think she's actually going to be like our new final girl. I'm not buying all this, I have a dark secret inside me, and her looking at the mask and pondering things. I don't think that's going to happen. But what is going on with Tara's face right here? Because, like I said, Jenna Ortega's star is rising in a major, major way. It may be time to cash out. It may be time to reveal her as a killer and kill her off. Maybe you're going, well, why would she want to do that? Well, remember in the last movie, we did set up that Sam, being Billy Loomis's father and her finding this out, it ruined their family. That was the cause for her father walking out. And now Tara may feel some kind of way about that, maybe coming for her sister's head. Just look at her face. That is not the face of somebody that's happy that their sister is helping them out. What is that? Why does she look so conniving and evil and just hateful? Something going on there. Now, we have 2 law enforcement officers in this movie, or at least that's what the rumors would have you believe. When you look at Kirby and you look at Dermot Mulroney, is that his name? You look at his character, I think both are in law enforcement, and we can't have 2 well-known actors stepping in, being in law enforcement and a slasher, and both of them have no ulterior motives, can we? One of them definitely factors in and is helping get all these things into place, getting the gears grinding and getting things in motion, putting people on the course where they need to be, maybe giving Ghostface access to certain things he wouldn't otherwise have. I mean, just look at the amount of evidence and things that has been accumulated. Something is going on with one of these characters. Samara Weaving, we didn't really see much of her in the trailer. Perhaps she will be one of the killers. I saw a comment on my trailer reaction, somebody saying that she needs to be revealed as a killer. And I'm like, yeah, you know, that'd be a pretty magical moment, because she has those great big eyes. She has that giant wide grin. If you could give her just this evil shit-eating grin as she monologues and reveals her motivation, I think that would be kooky, crazy, fun, and it would rival what happened with Jill at the end of Scream 4. But those are my biggest predictions After watching the trailer several times, let me know your ideas down below. Do you think I'm just full of a bunch of pooey? Do you think I'm onto something? Do you like some of the ideas but not the others? What are your ideas? Please, somebody talk to me. I beg to talk about Scream. Anybody. All right, guys, but for real, like, comment, subscribe if you wouldn't mind. Have yourself a fantastic day. I'm Nate for Nate Flick saying that's a wrap.